Hi readers, I'm Sam Beckbessinger. It's a real pleasure to have been included in this anthology. Thank you for spending time with me on the page. It's one of the most amazing things about being a writer is you get to have relationships with all these people all around the world through your stories. And I always feel like I'm in conversation with my readers. So hi, nice to meet you. So my short story, Undercurrency, is a story about a woman who is running a business doing kelp farming off the coast of South Africa. I'm South African, and the story explores questions of geoengineering, so the things that we might need to start doing, the technologies we might need to start implementing to counteract climate change. But it explores how those technologies intersect with other things about how our world is structured, particularly neo-colonialism and kind of the desire to, and the way that humans think about the natural world as a resource rather than as something that exists in and of itself, almost something that almost has like a spiritual existence, separately to just being a resource for us to use. It doesn't come to any sort of easy answers about these things. It just explores my own questions that I guess I have in the space. And what was really interesting about the story is that it came out of a conference in the real world in 2018. It was run by a organization called SESINC, so the National Socio-Environmental Synthesis Center. It's a really long word, which is it was this incredible program where they got climate change experts, scientists, artists, writers, economists, public health experts from all around the world, including countries in the global south, and gathered us all together for 5 days of having conversations about geoengineering from our different backgrounds and perspectives, and just having these really rich conversations about these things. And for me, some of the most powerful stories emerged like that, in kind of cross-pollinating between all the different worlds and that we all hold inside of us, right? And it was just so interesting for me sitting there hearing about how different people from different parts of the world with different types of expertise were all thinking about the same problems but coming at it from entirely different angles. And that was kind of the origin of the story. I also kind of out of that conference, another project emerged, which is free to read online. It's called Survive the Century. So that is kind of a choose your own adventure story, a choosable path story. I don't know if any of you read those books as children where it said, if you want to make this choice, turn to page whatever. I loved those stories as kids. So this is an interactive version of that. There's also a physical book, but it's free to read online, where it lets you, it's a story about climate change, and it's a story that lets you as the reader make the decisions of how the world should respond to our changing climate. And you get to read newspapers that result in the future from the choices that you make. And what was really fun is that I enlisted a bunch of my writer friends to help write those news articles from the future. It's kind of this really fun way of thinking about science fiction, including an incredible Indian writer, Rajat Chaudhuri, who got involved in the project. We also got writers involved from Finland, from South Africa, from America, from all around the world, from Dubai. And that was also really fun, was kind of thinking about ways that we as writers from different backgrounds could kind of come and play together, and because all of us bring different perspectives. And so that was really fun and really meaningful. And so if you just Google survivethecentury.net, that's something that you can play. If you'd like to read more of my other work, I write across a number of disciplines, everything from personal finance to horror fiction. And you can find out more about me and my work on my website, which is sambeckbessinger.com. I publish a semi-regular newsletter, which is just about things that I learn in the world, because that's where stories come from for me, is it comes from learning. So yeah, it's great to meet you. Thank you for spending some time with me and my story and on this video, and I hope that we can continue this conversation. Thanks.